Hello and welcome to RBN Presents. I'm your host, Bill Munsell. I must apologize at the time of this recording. Once again, we had some technical difficulties, and what we ended up doing was this time we were able to get audio and video, but not so much the video. If you're looking for me in this interview, I'm in the right lower right hand corner. You could barely just see the top of my head. So bear with us. I hope you enjoy the interview with Terry Talbot. Hello again, and welcome to another program. And I am delighted to have Terry Talbot with me again. And Terry, I really enjoyed our last conversation, so I thought maybe we'd finish up what we didn't get to finish the last time.
Cool.
And we had a really good time. And one of the things I forgot to ask you about was about your acting career, which at
Well,
first
I really didn't have and don't have an acting career. I appeared in a movie with Barry Maguire. A guy named Ted Jordan from Fresno here wanted to do a movie, and so we did, and that was basically it. I was approached by a guy named Jerry Weintraub back in '76 or '7, and he had done "Oh God, You Devil" and "Oh God" and with John Denver, and he later did Oceans 11, 12, and 13, and he's produced a lot of movies in Hollywood. He and I were friends, and he wanted me to kind of put my music career on hold, and he wanted to manage my acting career. And he had visions of me playing, action heroes and cowboys and presidents and cops and all this stuff, that sounded like a lot of fun. But I was on the road with my brother at the time, and we were opening for the Eagles. And I said, Jerry, I got to be loyal to my family, to my little brother. And he said, that's cool. He thought that was actually kind of neat. And so never had an acting career, just did the one little movie with Barry, and it was kind of fun.
And what was the name of that movie?
I don't remember, and that wasn't the name, but I don't remember the name.
I'm trying to remember it too, because I had it in my computer, and before we did the first interview, I was looking for that movie, and it somehow disappeared off of my computer. And I really enjoyed it because I thought it was pretty well done. You played a character that you were a Christian, and you were in great spirits, but then you had a heart attack,
right?
And you experienced going to heaven. Do you remember the rest of the movie on that?
Susie.
Yes, boss.
Hey, I'm gone for the day.
Already?
Yeah. Okay. See you mañana.
Best day of my life.
Dad, Amy's got problems, Dad.
Oh, no, she's what?
We're at the hospital, and Amy's gonna...
Hey, Jimmy, check out your right arm.
Okay, somebody drop 1 amp of Epi. Let's get that right now. Get some lidocaine after being ready too.
Shock advised.
Hey, Jimmy, catch! Yeah, it's great seeing you.
This is the end of his story, and a new beginning.
No, except that Barry played my guardian angel, and he, I got to meet him in heaven. I think it's called Jimmy something Goes to Heaven, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a fun movie to do, and Ted and his company did a really good job with it. So yeah, I was real happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that. I remember one scene you did with Barry, where you guys there was a football field in heaven,
Yeah,
and you guys had to toss the football around and
yeah, we
stuff.
had some fun with that.
Barry has quite a extent. Well, not real extensive acting career. He did do like the President's Analysis,
He did, yeah,
Werewolves on Wheels, where he played a biker,
right.
and I forgot what other movies he played in, but
Yeah, but he did a little, and he played both parts in the musical Hair on Broadway. He
that's
played
right.
both lead parts there.
That's right. So
Yeah, he's a talented guy.
yeah, I was going to do his documentary. I took his testimony that he had
Uh-huh.
on his website. I printed it out and I saw all these things and I had all this footage. I had the Jonathan Winters program. I had him on Hullabaloo singing Evil
Oh yeah,
Destruction with
oh
all
yeah,
these wrecked cars around and and I couldn't remember all of it, but I had all this footage, and I was going to put this documentary together, and other things happened in life, and it got put on hold, and with a lot of
yeah,
things got packed away, and
yeah.
you can't find those things anymore. So
Well, so that was my acting career.
mm,
The rest has all been mostly it's all music.
right,
That, yeah.
and
Production, music teaching, private students, all that kind of stuff for decades.
right. Ever a talk of doing something with Firewind other than just doing the album?
Not really. Well, we did a video shoot over in Pasadena, and Barry didn't do it. So at that time, the part that Barry played, Peter, the Apostle, was played by, oh man, what's the guy's name that was in the Righteous Brothers? Bill Medley.
Oh, Bill. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so John, my brother, was there. And the fun thing I remember about that whole production, I don't know what happened to it or what they did with it. It was extremely well done and very expensively done. But, and we did it like a stage play. But Bill Medley and my brother and I used to, during breaks, we'd sing as a trio. And I'll tell you, man, was really something,
Yeah, he's got quite the voice.
He really does. And he's a good guy, real good guy.
Right.
Was. I don't know if he's still living now or not.
I don't
But,
know. Yeah, haven't heard from him for a while. So, and of course you've been working with some people in the studio.
Yeah, it seems like I always end up one way or another. Even back in the day, I produced, oh my goodness, I produced Wendy and Mary, and I produced Dennis Agajanian, and one of Julie Miller's early studio sessions was with Dennis on that album, and that was really neat meeting Julie, and just over the years I've produced a lot of artists that are, they're not name artists, but they want to get a record done, and that's what I just did with a group called the Gilly Girls, and they're amazing. You can look them up on YouTube. And they're two sets of twins from the same mom, 15 and 18 years old, and they're extremely talented, and that was fun. Right now I'm doing, I did my own album a few years ago, and I'm doing another album for me, and it's going to be all the stuff we're doing at church, all the hymns and choruses. and so that's kind of where it's at right now. It's a good line.
Yeah, I was trying. When I saw the Gilly Girls, they reminded me because they do bluegrass. Am I correct?
Yeah, they're a bluegrass. Yeah.
Gospel, and they reminded me. I don't know if it's the same girls or not. Did they used to tour with their dad and he passed away?
No.
Okay,
no,
this was a
wasn't
different
that.
group.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah,
There-
different group.
There was
yeah.
a group on a show on YouTube called Word on Westerns. A guy named Rob Ward. He does a lot of interviews with old Western cowboy actors and stuff. And he had
cool.
this group on, and they were all girls, similar to the Gilly Girls. And their dad played along with them, but then later on, their dad passed away, and it's just the girls now. So
just the girls, yeah.
So I thought that was they look almost the same girls, but
I'll be doggone.
you know. But yeah, there's a lot of new young people are so talented. There's a group out of Canada called Leave Those Kids Alone, from Pink Floyd's The Wall. And they're like 16, 17 years old. And they do cover tunes and they do their own stuff. They just did an EP, which I purchased from them. And so all the EP has all the original stuff. But everything they put on YouTube are all cover songs from all the great. So there's a lot of young talent out there. There is. It's really good. Now, you toured with Barry a lot, and I saw a clip, and I put it in the our first interview on Spicks and Specks out of Australia.
Out of Australia.
So what was it like to tour with Barry in Australia?
Oh, it was nice. You know, I mean, I've toured all over the world, so it's no different. It's you go and you do it. Barry and I toured all over the world, really. We were in England and Ireland, and I don't remember if we were in Germany or not. I was, and all over the United States, and we did that for about 13 years. It was fun.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I also put clips, speaking of video editing and stuff, I really enjoy doing music videos.
Yeah.
And I was kind of concerned because I kind of threw it together. I did the Billy Graham on Star Trek.
Here's the scene.
Oh, yeah.
And I used clips from Star Trek. I know there's a way of manipulating the video to
The door opens, Kirk
match
walks
up,
in.
but I got as
The door
close as I
closes.
could.
He goes over and sits down.
And
That's
so
great.
I'm not sure how you feel about it. Some people are sensitive. If it's too silly and kind of makes you look bad, please let me know and I'll take it out. I usually don't put anything out unless the interviewee, the guest, looks at it, because there might be something in there that we better not show that part, because I've gotten in trouble in the past. Okay.
Well,
so
I know all I really did was a comedy routine, and it was recorded on that album, Time to Laugh, Time to Sing. So it was just a comedy routine. There was a time in my life when I was going to be a stand-up comic and actor, and music kind of took over, and so that's the direction I went, because that's what paid the bills. But yeah, it was a little comedy routine. Seemed to get laughs and had fun with it.
Well, you could have been like Mark Lowry, sing and be funny too.
Yeah. Yeah. He did very well, and he didn't mess around when he was writing songs either. He's written some great ones.
Right. And one of the songs, I think, now I haven't, it's been a while since I've listened to all your catalog of music, but out of all of them on that same album, which on the flip side were all studio cuts.
Right, studio cuts,
and there was a song on there called Hollywood Lies.
Yeah.
And I was listening to that the other day, and I thought, man, this would make an interesting video. Of course, it'd be dated.
things to explain. When Jesus walked on water, did he pay all those waves? And how much did Lazarus get for stepping out of the grave? Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Now the cameras are aimed at the sky. A force is caught in the action. But the war in the stars is not the ultimate high. When we look at the coming attraction, we'll see Messiah capture time. The close encounter of the final kind. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies. Hollywood lies.
Yeah, it's a little dated, but
But
but it's still the truth. You
It's-
know,
it's-
Hollywood is, in fact, during this current season we're in, they're probably a little bit more into that type of what would I say? Well, anyway, the lies haven't gone away. Hollywood has always been, you know, it's they're stories, they're movies. They're not all true. And when they try to tell the truth, they don't usually do that. They'll elaborate and make a good movie out of it, and that's fine. You know, I like what Spielberg did with Lincoln. I thought that was pretty good.
right.
And I'm a student of Lincoln, and Spielberg did a great thing. He kept John Hay in every shot because that was the guy that wrote all that stuff down. He's one of the only presidents to have a guy just follow him around as a secretary and write down every move he made and every word he said was Lincoln through John Hay, who actually, he and a buddy had a couple of cots in the hallway in the White House. And so stuff you see and hear on that movie is pretty right on. So that was fun. You know,
It's a rarity because most historians, you have to be careful, is that they always put their own spin on things.
They do.
And
They do.
So it's all,
Yeah.
Sometimes you go, but this guy said this, and you know, it's just.
Yeah. It
But,
gets a little.
Yeah, because I notice even the biblical movies that Hollywood tries to do, like the last Noah movie was just so way out there.
It was way out there. I appreciated what they were trying to do.
Right.
I think there's a better way to do it.
Also.
The last Moses movie with Christopher Bale, Kings, and I don't remember what they called it, was pretty good, except it was a little odd. I wasn't put off by it, but they had a young child playing God, the father, and he was kind of a sassy little guy. And I thought, well, no, that's not God. That's not God. That's not the God that I know anyway. And I don't think that was the God that spoke with Moses. So
No, I don't think so.
the effects were great. I mean, the plagues, they didn't hold back on the plagues because that's where they get to be Hollywood and get their CG stuff out and, put a frog in everybody's bed. That's what they did. And it was pretty accurate, man. It was sure made me not want to be there. But yeah, it's Hollywood. Hollywood Lies.
Hollywood Lies, absolutely.
Hollywood Lies.
Maybe you should do a sequel, Hollywood
Yeah.
Lies 2.
I call it
Something-
Hollywood Still Lies.
Hollywood Still Lies. There we go.
Well, we did a Mason Prophet album in 2004, probably one of the best records I've ever been a part of. And our big song back in 1968, 69 was Two Hangmen.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put the album out and called it Still Hanging.
Still hanging.
Mason Prophet Still Hanging. And we did an updated version of Two Hangmen, which was all right. It was I thought it was a better recording, or better performance, not recording. Our recording on the first album was at Universal Studios in Chicago, where Frank Sinatra and Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and all those guys recorded. You can't get a better recording studio than that. But our performance in 2004 was much better.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I was looking at your album covers and stuff, and I think it's on the Two Hangmen one. And did anybody at that time mistake you for David Crosby?
No,
Crosby,
they
Stills,
didn't.
and Nash?
I was. I certainly bore a resemblance to him, and his mustache is what influenced me to grow mine. I like to think I'm quite a bit taller than David, but man, I liked the way he looked, so I kind of copied the look, and I remember hanging out with Glenn Fry back in the days with the Eagles, and we were laughing. We said, yeah, man, we all had to grow the mustache and hair. Maybe we could sing like David Crosby, and we were laughing about that, how it's like, man, that guy sang like an angel. He might not have acted like one, and he'll be the first one to admit that. And I appreciate that about David, but he's got a voice that's a gift from God, I think. Yeah, and I hope someday he realizes that.
Yeah, both Crosby, Stills, and Nash, they had a harmony there that just Wooden Ships and
my
Carry
goodness.
On, all of them were just right up there.
Well, I was listening to Wooden Ships the other day, and I thought, my goodness gracious, of course, the lead guitar that Stephen played is wonderful. The organ that Stephen played is wonderful. The bass part that Stephen played is amazing. And so I got in touch with their engineer, Bill Halverson, who had produced Mason Prophet and John and I. And I said, Bill, how long did it take David to get that bass part? And Bill said, how long is the song? In other words, he went out there and played it, and that was it. That was it.
Wow.
And their harmony, after speaking with Bill, I said, how did you come up with that 3 voices on one mic right in the middle? You didn't spread them out. You didn't do anything. It's just right there in the center of the recording. He said, well, I put them there so I could get everything out of their way. So there's not even any bass in the middle, more often than not. Sometimes they put the bass in the middle like they do with the kick drum. They're usually not. On those records, they're off to the side. And he said they wanted to sound like Peter, Paul, and Mary. And so they went out in the studio. Let's just pick a song, Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. They sang the chorus, and they turned to Bill inside in the control room and said, how was it? Bill said, good, why don't you try another one? And they did. And then they did actually 3 of them, and Bill put them all together. And they didn't want that. And they came in and they listened. They came back in and listened on the big speakers of what Bill had done. He'd recorded them on one mic 3 times, and they said, wow, that's a good sound. And they kept it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's,
yeah,
go ahead.
Speaking of music, I see your banjo back there and your guitar back there.
Yeah.
Are you up to playing a song? Or is it
Oh,
too
I'd
early?
rather not.
Oh, you
No, it's not too early. I'm just not warmed up yet, and I've got a student coming here in 10 minutes, so
Oh, okay, okay.
so we got to get going. But thank you
I'll
for asking.
I'll play some of your stuff from Facebook and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I've got some live stuff,
You got
basically almost in the same room. I might have turned this around a little bit to get the light better, but
Right.
yeah, I've done some stuff. I did one of my favorites is I do playing banjo and do a version of "God Bless America."
God bless America, oh land that I love. Stand beside her, oh, and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. Oh, God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, God bless America, my home sweet home.
Oh,
And I just love that one. I love the B.J. Thomas song. The only man-made scars or the only man-made thing in heaven are the scars on Jesus' hands. It's a great old song.
as a matter of fact, I put that on your first interview.
Okay, good,
So
because that's a great
there's
song.
a lot of music I did, a lot of your old stuff, a lot of your current stuff, the stuff you did
Good.
at the chapel. I put that all in there, so I hope you enjoy. If you get a chance to watch it, it's a little over an hour.
When you get it finished the way you want it, send it to me again.
Yeah. Okay.
And
well, I
you're
just did
and
finish
you know
it.
I would
Yeah.
I would actually if you can send it to my text address, my phone number address. I prefer that sometimes, and I'm sure you know this. Some of the stuff that comes through Facebook Messenger gets tampered with.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm real careful with that stuff. I know a lot of folks that have been hacked that way. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's not very often, but it does happen. So if you could just send it to you have my phone number, right?
No, I don't. Just text it in.
I'll
in
text it
Messenger.
to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
And so I'll
And
just
then
send it.
send me, and I'd love to see the final interview. I'm sure you put a lot of
Oh, yes.
blood,
Well,
sweat, and prayer into it.
what happened was when I recorded it, I forgot to notice that my OBS that I record on, usually I do backups, but I couldn't
Yeah.
do it today or the other day. But my audio channel was off.
Yeah,
And so I had to listen to the whole thing and listen to your remarks. And so
Oh,
I had to
man.
base my questions on those remarks. So it's been heavily edited, but it looks a lot better.
I'll bet it does.
And
Well, at least we can hear you. You know.
yeah, that's true. It's just everything's turned around because on the Facebook here, Facebook Live,
Yeah.
everything's the opposite. And
Right.
So when you see me, everything's turned the other way.
Right.
If you're
Right.
paying attention, most people don't pay attention to that stuff. So,
Well,
yeah,
listen,
I'll
I
try
got to
to
run.
yeah.
Any other questions you got? So
No, I was wanting to finish that. I was hoping to finish
Okay.
with a song, and which is understandable. You got to go, and you're a very busy man, and I'm just so thankful that you took time out.
oh,
And,
I like.
let
I
me
like
know.
doing
Let me
interviews.
know how to send that video. I've never sent
Okay.
it by phone. I've
I
always
think
sent
it'll
it through
work.
email. If it doesn't
Well-
work, I could always send it to your email if you're.
You know,
willing to
that's
give
what
me-
I'll do. I'll send you my email address because that'll handle it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would work.
Yeah, because I can send things through my Google Mail.
Okay.
I can send
okay.
large. I can send large files. That's how I do it with everybody else.
Okay,
with
and that's what
Jerry
I've got.
and-
I've got
and
Google.
everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's
So-
been great. Thank you very much for the interview, man. I mean,
And
Yeah.
keep me posted on the new album and everything
will.
that you're doing. I mean, it's exciting. People like to
It
see
is.
how Terry Talbot's doing today, and
We're
and
still doing what I'm doing, man.
still
It's just
kicking.
amazing.
It's
It's a
still
blessing.
hanging.
It's still hanging. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
All
All right,
right,
buddy.
Thanks
Thanks,
again.
Mike.
We'll talk soon.
All right.